Hello, everybody, and welcome out to Pod of War, your weekly show of absolute pointless shenanigans. I am your host, Lee Wifkisma, joined today by the Lankster, CW Lanky.
Yeah, I get to go first.
Yeah, I know, I thought I'd change it up a bit. And of course, the one who will never leave me. It is Massive Death Chris McGilly.
Hello, everyone.
I got a wave, not a thumbs up
I
this
know.
week.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, it's the fucking kids TV Pengy.
Yeah.
Hey guys. So how are we doing this week, boys and girls?
Terrifying.
We're having a wonderful week in the last week of Feb.
Absolutely lovely. It was some early summer weather here, Davey, and it's beautiful.
I know, I can see it from my window.
See the tan you're getting.
yeah, like I'm looking very pasty today. So, guys, it's another week. We're another week closer to the grave. Very positive this week. So, Pengy, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a bit more Little Nightmares 2. I was hoping to finish it. I think I've got about hours left of it. It's some scary moments in it today, playing it. Like, talking last week about like Resident Evil, was it the week before? I was like, that's not scary. But I think just because this is like a 12 or a 15 or something, you don't expect it to be that scary. And there's been some jump scare moments. And I got this one
That's
bit.
interesting because I didn't think the last one was, but it makes you want to play it more now.
And I got to this one bit. I must have died like 50 times trying to get through this bit, being stealthy and stuff like that. I was like, oh no, I must have died more times than this than like all of Metal Gear's bit combined. I was like, oh, gotta be really stealthy.
So what you're saying is Little Nightmares 2 is the real
It's the man's stealth game.
stealth sim.
Yeah, I was like trying to get past these like mannequins in the hospital. It was like, yeah. So been playing a bit of that. I played, and this is one of the games me and you were talking about it in work, our percentage of like true achievements, should percentage of achievements. And I played some Nickelodeon Kart Racer 2 because it's in the free play thing. And obviously I've unlocked like 6 achievements of it. So my percentage is like, it only has like 20 achievements. I don't know what, like 14%. It is awful. Like the frame rate is like non-existent. It's like some bits where it just literally just freeze and then unfreezes, and then your car's like jumps completely in the ahead, and it's like this is really bad. The only positive is like plays the Ninja Turtles, which is something.
See, I've played the first one because my girlfriend bought it in a sale for like £3, and it was fine. No issues. It ran fine on Series S, and it wasn't a particularly great game, but wasn't as bad as the 2 sounds.
Yeah, unless it's just not been like, obviously it's an Xbox One game playing on the Series X, unless it's got some like backwards compatible issue or something. I've not really heard of that for any games, but yeah, it was pretty not good. So yeah, I like did like one Grand Prix, and it's like that's enough for me. I'm never gonna play that again. So that's what I was saying. Like with the achievement percentage, it's like that game where Penguins has got 4 achievements on, and it's like just like a random thing. And I also played the Outriders demo, which just come out. It's sort of Destiny like, but in a third person instead of first. You do cover based thing, and you can move around. Guess a bit like Gears of War.
Yeah, it's Destiny, Division, Gears. That is the 3 things combined.
It's the way you are in the demo. Like the first sort of bit is like bright, colourful, looks really nice planet, and then it's suddenly grey and brown. It's fine. I said on the GDM forum, like, if you two both played them and like, yeah, we need to get this, we're gonna play 3-player co-op, I would be down for it. But playing for single player, like, I'm waiting for, it's worth playing maybe, but like either when it comes to Game Pass or if it's like £10 or something, not like a 50 quid day one buy. Like I think it'd be sort of worth playing, but like cheap, or if you've got like 2 other people to play with and go through the story of that.
There's nothing more exciting now than those sort of games to me. I don't know, like those games just seem to come out and fail over and over again now, and I'm waiting. Yeah, like I just surely people are going to wise up and stop making these sort of games soon.
Because the
You've
ones
seen
that work make
Anthem and
so much
Yeah,
money.
well,
That's the
Anthem
problem.
yeah,
has just been like cancelled, and apparently EA are looking at doing more story-based sort of games. Especially, obviously, Anthem failed, and Jedi Fallen Order sold really, really well, so and was positively received. So
The problem with those games is
that's
they always seem to be rushed, right? Because like I had this
Mm.
chat literally today with my friends Pete and Damon. Like I always want to play those games. I always look at like Destiny and The Division and even Avengers, and I look at the end game content and go, oh, man, I bet that's really fun to play like a raid. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I bet that's really fun. But the journey to get there is always boring, and it's always full of like spongy enemies and like, you know, the same content replayed over and over again. I just don't understand why people can't. Maybe Outriders is this game. They can't realize that if you're going to make these games, don't release it until you have a lot of content. Because the people that love
it
those
was
games will eat
obviously
that content in
delayed
like
and
2 seconds.
it's
But
demo out, so
they
yeah,
always
it's fun.
always promise in those games as
Yeah.
well, don't they? It's always going to be this massive experience, and it's going to keep you playing for ages. Then you buy it, and it's a 10-hour single player experience, and it's like, oh, you need to buy the next DLC if you want more. And it's just,
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm
the
not
problem is
waiting
a
like
lot of those
8
games
months.
don't get good until like later. Like say Destiny 2 now on Game Pass with 3 expansions is actually pretty good. But like me and Craig tried that was it 2 years ago we tried it and we're like,
Yeah,
I don't really want to go back. And Division is one I always keep looking at, and every time it's in a sale, I'm like, I would quite like to do the expansion pass. I would quite like to try some multiplayer with some friends, but it's just you need that kick over the edge, don't you, with stuff like that. And I say like Anthem failed, which is a shame. It was really fun. I played it not even that long, a couple of months ago, because it came to Game Pass, so I thought I'll give it a go. And the gameplay's really fun, but I think it and Outriders suffer the same. It kind of looks generic problem. But we'll see. We'll see. Square Enix is tried before, and they'll try again, won't they? So. But did you buy any physical games, Pengy? That's the last question.
I did, and I did play a bit of one more game. I've played about 3.5 hours of Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh, nice.
So it's basically still in the tutorial.
Back on the shelf, isn't it?
I was about to say
Back on the
that's not
shelf.
as much as you should think you're going to play this week. Is
No,
it not
I
as
tried.
good as?
Yeah, what I've played is good. Like the cinematic, well, the anime like cinematics in the game are great. You can tell it's been like back for like the Switch in terms of like resolution and stuff, but because of the art style, it still looks pretty good. The load times are horrendous though. We talked like we had the next gen episode, and it's like, the load times are one of the benefits, but using a Series X all the time, don't really like notice it. Then going back to this on Switch, I'm like, I can make like a cup of tea in this time. It's like really, and that's on the cartridge. So I drove the thing like original PS4, and like obviously on the disc version. What plays good, like I said, just want to finish like Nightmares 2, then I will start Persona 5 Strikers properly. So there's that. And I did have one physical pickup, and that is Bravely Default 2. So I have that,
Pengy.
which I
Just in
haven't
time.
played, yet because I, like I said, I'm finishing Little Nightmares 2 before I
I mean, to be
finish this.
fair, you could just leave it on the shelf. You're never going to complete it. So.
I've got some nice. I actually got Persona in here because I got
Oh,
Bravely
that
Default
makes me feel very upset.
in the console because I redeemed my like points. So I got my 50 gold points. So I did that. So that's all I've picked up. That's what I've been playing.
Lovely. Right, Craigo, shoot.
So I finally finished Jedi Fallen Order
Hey,
after I think
what do
3
you
weeks of
think?
talking about it. I mean, it's great, isn't it? It is fantastic, as Chris McGilly would say. I finished it. And I was like, God, Disney Plus could. The story's so good in this game. I feel like Disney Plus could do like a little mini series on this because it's like the story's that good. Okay, maybe not a 10-hour season, but this could be like four or five episodes, and you could convert it that way. But yeah, the story's great. I think because like the cast is so small in that game, all the characters, like you really understand the motivations and like how they're all connected. So it benefits because the cast is like 5 or 6 people. It benefits from like not being too big and trying to sprawl over like 10 different planets and all that. So yeah, the story's great. Disney Plus should definitely do something with it, or there should
You
definitely be
are
a
likely to
sequel.
get a
Something.
sequel. I think it's been announced,
Yeah.
isn't it? Until
Oh,
like by the by.
As Chris said, it's if it's sold well, it reviewed
did.
well. Yeah, people are still playing it like me on Game Pass. It's easy money in it as long as it's it's high
Because now,
standard.
obviously, you're saying it's fantastic. You've played it on Game Pass. If Fallen Order 2 came out this November, I presume you would pick it up right away.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And you've got to remember,
Pre-order
this game came out pre-Mandalorian as well. And Star Wars
Yeah.
is only more popular now than it was when it came out.
100%. 100%. I mean, I'm shocked that because it's so set up the way you travel between the planets and the gameplay that they didn't do any DLC for this, because you could so easily just added a DLC planet, you'd think.
I think that they decided to do the sequel pretty much straight away, because
Yeah.
obviously at the time EA probably hadn't renewed the Star Wars license. Obviously the licensing has now changed, so I think they probably thought, right, let's just get this game out, because it was pretty buggy at launch as well. But as well as just get it out, and then we can see if it does well, we might be able to get the license again. So I think now that they've got it locked in, and the Respawn team obviously can do what they want, because they're basically the EA A team now. So anything they do seems to be fantastic. So it'd be good. Did you do the optional
on VR last year?
Yeah, but no one likes VR. Did you do the optional Venator section?
So is that the
It's an old
crashed ship?
Yeah.
Yes, I did that.
Isn't it so good?
It's
so
great.
good.
I kind of wish there was more of that stuff in it though.
Same. I got that by accident. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I finished it and I was like, oh, I'll go do like anything that's optional. I figured out that was optional, so I did that, and I was like, oh, I kind of want there to be more. Which I mean, that's a sign of a good game, and when it's probably 25 hours and you still like there thinking, God, I wish there was more. I ended up there's an achievement on it as well. There's a 100G achievement for unlocking all of the Jedi powers. And I finished it. I did the additional area, and I was 4 away. I had 4 powers to unlock, and I was like, I can't like walk away from that 100G. So I ended up going on true achievements and finding the best spot to like grind and just meditate or rest or whatever it is, and go back and kill. So I did that for like an hour, and I got about halfway through doing that, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I was like, I'm committed now. I've got to do this. And I eventually got there. But then, that was me finished with that game. And then the only other thing I've played, and I started this because I saw it was leaving Game Pass. I was like, I won't get the opportunity. I probably wouldn't ever pay for this. I just started playing Oxenfree, which I know is a game that Chris loves.
I finished it on PS4 and Switch, and I was tempted to play it on Xbox because of the
I was surprised you hadn't seen it. I hadn't played it, sorry.
And it's leaving Game Pass, so I'm tempted to go back. I think it leaves today though, so
it leaves tonight. I reckon I have an hour, if that, left of it. So as soon as we finish recording this, I'm loading up the Xbox and finishing that off. But it's made by, is it the Night School, Chris? It's the same. Yeah, it's the same people that did After Party, which launched straight to Game Pass, I think. And I played, and I thought that was awful.
I agree.
Yeah, this is much better, and this is obviously their first game. This is actually really good. I agree with Chris. This is so much better in After Party in literally every way. Even though like gameplay wise, it's pretty much exactly the same in terms of it's just like a narrative simulator. You're just choosing, like, walking around and choosing what you want to say, and that maybe a tiny bit of like puzzling, but yeah, it is so much better in every way.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you listen to this tonight, it's not left.
If I upload it really quickly.
Yeah.
If I suddenly click streaming, we're okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And I presume you did not pick up any games, Craig?
Oh God, no.
I don't think it. Is there any plans to pick up any games? Is there anything you've got your eye on that from last year you didn't play or anything like that?
I know you were on about Hitman, was it, or something?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I downloaded Wreckfest the other night because obviously that's on Game Pass, and that has jumped massively up the Xbox like gameplay charts. I saw it's like in the top 20 now.
And it
looks great, I thought.
Really? I enjoy it. The problem is we've just played Forza Horizon 4, which is like one of the best races I've ever played. I enjoy Dirt 5 so much. I've played it on 3 consoles, and the quality level is just not quite there with Wreckfest. It's If you like Destruction Derby and Flat Out, you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
I liked is it Flat Out Ultimate Carnage
Yeah,
on
if you
360?
like that game, you will love this. It's just for me, who's still playing Dirt 5, as I'll get to in a minute. It's just not quite as good, like quality wise. I'm sure it's a good game. Like there's a reason everyone's
Yeah.
playing it. But
Yeah, that's another
online's
one
terrible though. I will
did
say online's
download.
terrible.
I did download that and done like one race. It's another one that's like I've got like 2 achievements. It's like I'll get back to it at some point, but when?
At some point.
Yeah,
The famous
never
Chris
then.
Mingelli
Just
some
as it's
point.
leaving Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I suppose for me, I haven't played a lot of games this week. Well, I have, but I haven't, as you'll probably have known. So I've been playing, and I've been playing Dirt 5 again. So I've now played Dirt 5 on. I've completed it on PS4. I've played it on PS5, and I've played it on Xbox Series S. So this is the only game I think any of us have played across the whole spectrum, as it has the differences. So in my opinion, the best experience for that game is the Xbox Series S, and I will tell you why. So although the
Okay.
PlayStation 5 looks and runs better, slightly, not a lot, slightly. Again, I don't have 4K. The controller is so distracting in the PS5 version that it's actually a better experience on Series S because it uses the DualSense fully and it's cool. But when you just want to play the game, it's kind of annoying because it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop locking this and rumbling here, and there's no way to turn it down or turn it off. It's because I'm
Dave's the
primarily
next Snowbite Mike, yeah.
it's things that I love the controller. It's just too much. It's just like every single part of the race. It's just like it like does not stop. Like, actually, you've played it on Xbox. You know the vibration's pretty strong on Xbox, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like it's like ridiculous on PlayStation. And
I
this is
think I
such
turned the vibration down on Xbox.
on
Like down to
PlayStation
low.
you cannot do it. It's unless I am really missing a feature that it's like obvious to me. Like I looked and I could not find it. Unless you do it at like a console level. That's all I can think of. And it's not saying it's bad. Like it's still pretty good. But like of the three, I'm enjoying my experience on Xbox a lot more because again I'm playing this game now as I'm doing something else. So while I'm chatting to someone else playing Football Manager, or I'm just chilling out waiting for my girlfriend to have a shower or something. I'm just playing a race, and it's just distracting. It's cool, and I think it's a really good. So if I was going to show you a game with DualSense, I would show you Dirt because it uses it the most. But to play that for 40 hours like that, I just can't see that being enjoyable. You know what I mean? But hey, it's just me being a nitpick. The game is great on everything, and the fact it's on Game Pass is ridiculous. Like, it came out 3 months ago. Like, get
Yeah,
Game
it's
Pass.
weirdly like we all liked it. Like I played it
Mhm.
on Xbox One and Series X. You both liked it, and the game actually, if I remember, is like sort of flopped.
Yeah,
Like, I think
you can already buy it for about £25 physically on
yeah,
like PlayStation.
I think
Like
I
on
bought it
Xbox.
cheap.
Yeah.
I know when it launched, it went to like in the top 40, but it was like 38, and it was like a
Yeah.
new release, and it's like, why?
I think to be honest,
really odd.
the EA purchase is going to help Codemasters a lot. I know that's really controversial to say, but those games just don't ever seem to get any marketing like that pushes it forward. So to have, they make great games every time they make a game. So I hope that means they can do a lot more. And it means for us, it's always going to be on Game Pass because it will come to EA Play after like a year. So whatever they do next, it's great. And obviously, as we've said, not only is Wreckfest and Dirt 5 on Game Pass, but you're getting Star Wars Squadrons, I think, next week, and then then Madden 21 and NHL 21. So I mean, for people like us that are very casual with sports games, that's amazing value. Like I only really like, I like Football Manager, but other than that, like it's cool that I can play Madden if I want to. And Squadrons is a game that I think will benefit massively from Game Pass because it's cross-play anyway, and it's a fun game. So I'm looking forward to trying that with Craig, see what he thinks. I can just get you and Pete in there, see if you can dogfight your way out. But yeah, other than Dirt 5, the only thing I've been playing is Football Manager Xbox Edition, which I've played for probably 30, 40 hours this week on a multiplayer game.
I played it all day yesterday. So I tweeted I was going to finish Little Nightmares 2, and I just played Football Manager all day. Like I had kind of funnies, Xcast on the background, just playing Football Manager. Won some more trophies, and it's like
it's
It
a
is
great game.
the time sink, isn't it? It is just time just disappears to that game.
Putting it on Xbox is absolute genius, and making a real emphasis on the multiplayer modes is absolute genius. It has changed that game. I've played that game every year for 25 years, and the fact that I'm playing the lesser version because the multiplayer is so much better is just Oh, in fact, it's cross everything, so I can have it on my laptop, my PC, and my Xbox, and just switch between it with no issues. And you can even plug a mouse into the Xbox, the mouse and keyboard into the Xbox, and it works perfectly. It's ridiculous. Like, it's one of those things, like, when it comes to Game Pass, which I think it will soon, I really get a feeling it'll probably be the next month or two. Play it. It's great. And that's really all
Yeah,
I've played this week. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, like when I was playing it yesterday, I was like, I'd play one more game. I got the the UEFA, but it's not the Super Cup. It's not obviously the UEFA. It's just the Super Cup. It's like, I got 2 more games and I get to play the Super Cup. I just get the league season over and stuff like that. It's like, it's just like that sort of thing.
Well, it's just had an update, so obviously have all the January transfer windows and everything. So we're playing a new save at the minute. I was playing it before we start recording this, and I will be playing it with the boys after we start recording this as well, because it's just madness. But I've had one pickup this week, so I had to buy a new TV remote,
Okay.
and I think that cost like £8. So I wanted to get over. I haven't got Prime anymore, so I wanted to get like, I don't know, so if I was like, it's then again it's like £15, I'll get one, then I'll get my free delivery. And I saw a game for £15 that I haven't played at all, and it's a game that you both have recommended to me before. So I picked it up. My first PS5 game, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Oh, nice.
Which is obviously the game with all the content plus the Virgil stuff. It was £15. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna get a PS. Like, I'm not, because I've changed my job. I'm not gonna be buying a lot of games because I'm gonna rely on like birthday stuff, which is next week. So I was like, you know what, I want a PS5 game. Everyone says this is good. I need it for the fucking postage anyway, because if I hadn't had the postage, it would have been like an extra £4 or something stupid just for a TV remote. So I was like, fuck it. But yeah, that's my one physical pick. I'm looking forward to playing this actually, because like I said, I haven't played a DMC since 4. I didn't play the Ninja Theory one. Obviously didn't play this when it was on Game Pass, because it came and went pretty quick, didn't it, on Game Pass? It was there for like 6 months or something before I even thought about it. It was gone. So I'm looking forward to playing. And it's nice to have one physical PS5 game. Still less than Chris, even though he doesn't have a PS5 yet. But where are we, Chris, as well? Because obviously we're going to do State of Play in a minute, so we won't talk too much spoil. Actually, we'll save that for State of Play. Actually, we'll save that for.
Yeah.
So before we go any further, we've got to get the Fantasy League up, boys. There we go. So you guys obviously been really into this, which I think is really funny, because I've just completely forgotten what's going on. So the only addition, am I right in thinking it's just the Pokemon games we're talking about later?
Yes.
And obviously the only score one, I obviously counter-picked Bravely Default, which got a 79, so that was -9 for me. And
I don't think that's too bad, actually, because
no,
I think
I don't
we're all
think it's
going
too
to
bad.
lose points
Yeah,
on our counter picks.
I'm sort of disappointed that it only got 79.
I think that's what the first one got, though, wasn't it? When I look back,
No,
because I
they
was
both
tempted
got
to
like
pick it.
80 somethings. And looking at like the lower reviews, they all seem to be like, this game is really old fashioned and you grind and stuff.
It's the same problem with the first game, because the first game at the time was moaning about being grindy. But I think what you're saying, Chris, is there's how many more games have there been since Bravely Default that have gone old school? I think it's just getting boring again. Because I don't think before Bravely Default there was that many Final Fantasy, like old school Final Fantasy rip off games. Even though it's a Final Fantasy game, I don't know why they haven't called it that. But we've had 2 Bravely games since then, 1 game Bravely game since then, and we've had Octopath Traveler, and we've had 3 Xenoblades, and you know what I mean? Like, people just ain't got the time no more.
Yeah, I guess it's just like it's the sort of, to me, it's like the point of the game. It's supposed to be like a homage to
Of course it is.
Final Fantasy 4 Heroes of Light on the DS.
Yeah,
I believe it's like sort of like that. And you look at like Dragon Quest 11, that plays very, very old school, and that like very positively.
I think
received.
Dragon Quest, you don't need as much grinding though. I think the problem with, and again, I haven't played Bravely Default 2, so this is purely going off conjecture, but I think the problem people have with it is that you kind of get to a point and then you stop because you have to grind, whereas I think in Dragon Quest you're always moving with like side quests and stuff. But again,
possibly.
you are obviously going to 100% complete that, Chris, so when we get to your review in a couple of in a week's time, I look forward to it. I did play some more Fire Emblem Three Houses, actually, as we've been talking about it, but we'll save that chat for when I finish it, because I want to ask Chris some questions.
Okay.
So that's the preamble you know, we like to do it every week, and it's always fun. It's always one day Craig's going to get a pickup, and it's going to be like I'm going to somehow edit fireworks or something into the screen. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be like a pyro pointing at the WrestleMania sign,
Yeah.
and then the pyro comes
Craig
out.
will have it lowered behind him, just lowered. But until that point, we've had a lot of directs and shenanigans this week, guys. Obviously, we had the Nintendo Direct we did last week, and
Yes.
since then we've had a PlayStation State of Play and a Pokemon Direct. So I'm going to hand you over to Chris, the News Pengelly, who's going to go through one of them. I'm sure he'll tell us which one he's going to go through first, and we'll discuss.
I've got them both down, and there was 13 games.
That's a baker's dozen.
That is a proper baker's dozen. So we'll look at the State of Play first, and I've tried to put it in the order it was shown, but I was trying to get the correct one without rewatching. So it's a little bit off, but the first thing was showed was Crash Bandicoot 4, the PS5 version, which obviously is coming 12th of March, the update, and the Switch version also comes out then.
Cool.
I expect to play Crash.
I still haven't played it because I just haven't got around to it. I will get it eventually. But yeah, it's cool that it's on PS5 and Series X and whatever. So
it looked like a really good upgrade, to be fair. What they showed, you could tell they'd actually tweaked it and played with it.
Yeah, I think it's native 4K 60 frames now on both next-gen
Yeah, it looked it. It really did.
And I think the Switch version, they've altered the art style, but it's like, compared to Insane Trilogy, it's like a solid 1080p now. And like, I think it might be 30 frames, but it's like rock solid compared to Insane Trilogy. They've actually like worked there for the Switch properly. It looks good. I've not played Crash 4. I've heard good things. I kind of want it cheap, like pick it up for like 20 quid or something. The Xbox One version, get the free upgrade. It wasn't shown here, but another Activision game did get an announced for upgrade. It was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. It's getting a semi-free upgrade. You only get an free upgrade if you got the deluxe edition. Otherwise, you got to pay £10.
Okay.
So, any interest in Tony Hawk's?
Definitely.
No.
I'm tempted, but it sounds like I'd have to get the deluxe edition. That's what you're saying. What's what you're telling me?
Yes. Unless you find like a cheap Xbox One version. Let's say you found it for like a tenner and then you paid the £10 upgrade or something. Obviously, it's trying to find a cheap Xbox One version, which makes it.
It's just
cheaper.
another step, isn't it? That's always the problem I find with you.
Yeah.
When you have to do that with the upgrades, as we'll get to another one later.
Okay. Next game shown. This was actually Returnal gameplay. I didn't actually see this because I was watching the Kind of Funny reacts,
I was also watching the Kind of Funny reacts.
And they had a Twitch advert come off saying they were using ad blocker or wasn't using ad blocker, and I was like, oh. But I seen the day before they showed a gameplay trailer. It was like a 2-minute long, just went up on the PlayStation YouTube channel, which I did watch. It looks really good. Coming end of April. So what we thinking on Returnal?
So I was actually I'd seen gameplay of this before, and this is a game that I thought actually, as someone who doesn't have a PlayStation and probably never will, was like, I'd probably play that for the PlayStation. Yeah, I mean, definitely won't. And I was like, this is actually, that looks really good. Something I'd play in that. And I watched this.
Drafted it, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And I still think it's going to review really well and all that.
Yeah, I think it's.
I watched I watched that. And they started going on about how it was like you do runs and you die and then you start a new run, and it's it all sounds like a roguelike and that. And I was like, actually, I could never see me playing this if that's what this game is. And I was like, I've never seen you guys playing any roguelikes or anything like that. I was like, I don't know if I could see any of us actually playing this, because if that's what it is, and I don't know about this. I mean, it looked great. The gameplay looked great, but what they were saying about the runs and that, I kind of lost interest. I mean, I still think it's going to do well because those sort of roguelike games always review well anyway, and it's trendy and it's PlayStation. So I still think it's a good pick for me. But yeah, this kind of, I was like, I wouldn't actually be that excited, especially at £70. Cool.
That's the problem with the game. Personally, is the price. It doesn't look like a 70 quid game.
There's my problem.
It looks like it looks like it should be maybe 40.
Yeah, I think someone pointed out, like, roguelikes are never full price anyway, and this is full price plus the Sony £20 to £70. So, like, God, it really does. It just seems completely out of the market. Like, Dave, does this tickle you at all as a new PlayStation?
So I mean, I like Housemarque games. I love Super Stardust. I love Resogun. I really enjoyed Alienation. But all those games were a maximum of £16. And
they're all plus games as well, weren't they?
Almost all of them have been, yeah. I think they've all pretty much been plus games. And Returnal looks like a good game. And I think it's an interesting concept. I like the art design, but it just seems expensive for what it is. It just seems like I don't really look at that and go, right, do I buy this or do I get 6 months of Game Pass? As someone who owns both, that's my option. Is this game good enough for me to justify getting that instead of 6 months of Game Pass? Is it as good as Ratchet and Clank going to be? Is it as high quality as Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or Forbidden West? Sorry, it's going to be. I don't think so. I think it, like you said, I think it will review well, because obviously the people that are getting the review codes aren't paying £70 for it. So you know what I mean. I think
the only thing that might work in its favour is it's a PS5 exclusive, and we've not had many next gen exclusives.
Oh yeah, and as Craig said, it'll get the PlayStation bumps of 10 points.
You got also got that PS5. Like, I want to play a new game. There hasn't been anything since launch, so maybe it does well in that sort of sense.
It will do well.
It's a new game.
It will do well, but I just can't see any of us actually enjoying it.
I'm gonna buy this game, but yeah.
It's like, so you're going to buy that game because that's a type of game that you buy, and I think you'll regret it.
Yeah, I actually will, but like I said, not a 70
Yeah,
quid.
I think this would be a buy, play for a couple of hours, done for Bengals.
It'll be a plus game in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 quid is what
I'll call it. It'll be a plus game by the end of the year.
Okay, well, the next one is Five Nights Security Breach gameplay was shown.
It's actually looked really good.
Yeah, it does.
I don't like those games, but it looked pretty good.
So I've never actually seen any of these games ever. Obviously, I know about them because they seem to release like 10 of these games a year, like non-stop. I don't know. It's obviously it's meant to be like a horror franchise. It just looked odd to me.
It looked like a game. The other ones don't look like games. The other ones are literally like you click between menus and then there's a jump scare.
Okay.
Like it's literally one of those types. It's like Night Trap more than it's like an actual game. So this to be like an actual game, I was like, oh, they're making actual games now. That's exciting for the developers.
Yeah.
That won't be 70 quid.
None of us are going to play it.
Oh, of course not. No. And it's not a game I would draft either. I don't think it will review well.
Right, then we've seen Knockout City again. This is going to be in every conference ever until it comes out. It looks like it looked better here than it did in Nintendo Direct, because we've seen some more gameplay. And obviously it's free to start, whatever that means.
EA
and
games.
it's obviously cross-play. So anyone, going to try it?
I'll try it.
Not for £20.
I'll try the free, because it's going to be free for like the first month or whatever, isn't it, or something? There's some sort of weird free period. So I would try it.
Always going to have like a battle pass or something like that.
Yeah, of course it will.
Be, like,
of course it will.
Free, but if you want all the cool costumes, it's your 20 quid get battle pass or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not going to do anything for me because it just is too generic. That's its problem. And it's the same problem we talked about before we went on the air with Outriders. There just isn't that hook in terms of what it looks like or what it plays like for it to be interesting, I don't think. And again, I think it's probably going to be pretty fun, but it's, we've tried. Me and Craig were there with Bleeding Edge, which did have interesting characters and was really fun, and there just wasn't any content, and we were done. So I suspect Knockout City will probably suffer the same fate.
I guess when it launches, if it's like a quiet week or nothing coming out, bam, it launches on everything. Might do well because, like I said, it's cross-play, so
it needs to go into EA Play pretty quick, like a starter pack, like Apex that has. It needs. That's in my opinion. That's what they need to do with that, because it's cross-play as well. That will help. But it's an inoffensive game. It's not a game that you're like they're really gonna shove down your throat for very long. I don't think. But hey ho.
Yeah. Then we got a Deathloop trailer. And we must have seen Deathloop about 5-6 times now, but it does look good in the trailer.
Can't wait for 2022 when it comes out on Game Pass.
Yeah, did they do a date for this in the end? I didn't.
It's May.
Can't
It's
remember.
May. It's been confirmed for May for a while. So
May
I mean, it looked
22, Craig.
not £70 though. So
It's not. It's
Yeah.
55, I believe.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
free with your Game Pass subscription when that comes. So I mean, surely you just wait for that one as well. I mean, it does look good. The arcane games have a weird thing where they have different settings, and a lot of them are like completely different, but they
They all
look.
look the same.
You can still tell it's an arcane
Yeah,
game. If that makes sense.
the movement and art style is the exact same
Yeah.
for Dishonored.
Even the perspective just seems everything looks very similar. The way they hold the weapons and that. Again, it looked good. I don't know. The one thing I did think when I was watching this was I should probably go back and play more arcane games, because I've only played the first Dishonored, and I was like, God, why haven't I played more?
Dishonored 2 is on Game Pass, and the rest will be on Game Pass by the end
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
possibly.
month, I
Yeah.
suspect. So, the end of March. Sorry, not obviously February. Obviously, is this one that still tempts you for the PlayStation, Chris, or is this one that you're going to hold out on?
like obviously you were saying about the DualSense earlier. This one sounds pretty interesting with DualSense. How like the guns can lock up, and obviously the trigger locks up, and they've said about the haptic feedback and stuff like that. And I would most probably play it, do the single player, and then just sell it on. So, basically get what I paid for it almost back, sort of thing. So yeah, here's one that does interest me.
Nice.
Okay, then we had Solar Ash gameplay, which must have like you, Dave, because you have it on your fantasy project.
I'm actually kind of worried. Did they date it?
No, it's just 2021. No, just 2021.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried. It didn't look as good as I thought it was. It looks like identical to the Pathless.
See, is that the other Annapurna game that came last year? See, I was watching this and I was thinking that this looks like a PlayStation game that came out recently, and I was like, obviously I don't have PlayStation, I don't play it, and I was like, is this the same game? And then you're saying that.
It looks similar, and that worries me a little bit for my review score, because I think it might get compared to the Pathless quite a lot. Obviously, the Pathless was a good game, and High Flight Drifter was a good game, so I'm sure this will be a good game. But I am kind of like, okay, let's see how it goes. Again, it's not a game I'm going to purchase day one. I'm not that type of guy. I never have been. So I will get if it's physical, I will get it cheap, a couple of years time, or if it comes to Game Pass or something.
It's weird seeing this sort of game on other consoles, because you look at this and you think that's a great Game Pass game, but
it's tough, man.
You pay
tough.
£25 for it, or however much it is. I don't know.
It's like
I can see like £25.
It's like Cuphead's in the sale at the minute on PlayStation, and it's like, and I've told Craig, I think I've probably told Peggy many times, I've always been so close to pulling the trigger on Cuphead, but I just think it's going to come to Game Pass. And if there wasn't Game Pass, I would have bought it 2 years ago.
As soon as you buy it, it's going to come to Game Pass.
Yeah,
Game Pass like the week later.
It's a 15 quid game. I would have bought it like 2 years ago if Game Pass wasn't a thing. And I can't do it. And this is the problem that Game Pass. So those kind of games you're like.
Yeah, I said going back to the forum, I was in like the eShop thread, and I was on about someone bought Lonely Mountains Downhill, and I was like, that is like, they bought it as a great game and it's worth buying, but it's like, that's like a perfect example of Game Pass. If Game Pass wasn't this thing, I would not have played that game and wouldn't have like recommended it. And then vice versa, like Spirit Fair, I would have bought that game for 25 quid, and I've barely played it, and it gets to a certain point and it's just like a bit grindy sort of thing. So it's like,
perfectly set up for great default, then, Chris.
Yeah, but it's saying some games I would have bought, but wouldn't have now with Game Pass, I'm like, it's fine, and some I wouldn't have, and now have, sort of thing. So I can see Solar Hash falling into that thing. It looks quite good. I get a bit of Journey vibes, a bit of Shadow of the Colossus with like the big snake thing, whatever it was, but it does look a lot like Pathless, and Pathless did review quite well, and it's one I actually had pre-ordered before my PS5 went kaput. So if I was going to be more likely to get one, it'd be Pathless. There's a physical version out now as well.
We'll talk about that after this, buddy. Don't you worry.
think it's like 20 quid or something for Pathless. So
Yeah, it's not expensive.
that's the one I would be more keen on out of the two, if I had a choice. Then we had Oddworld Storm.
Soul
It's PS4,
Storm.
it's PS4 and PS5, but it's confirmed it's going to be a PS5 Plus game in April. So you can play that.
Actually, quite looking forward to it now that it's coming to Plus, because I like the Oddworld games, and I always have, but they're always pretty weird. Pretty weird. You have to kind of be in a mood to play them, to be honest, because they're very old school in their setup. But Soulstorm looks, every time I've seen a trailer, it looks great. It looks like the type of game it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's never going to be a game that you're going to put top of your like game of the year list. But very rarely are they of poor quality. So I'm going to play it because it's going to come to Plus. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, I never liked Oddworld back in the day on PS1, so I'm not hugely fussed about it. It's a Plus game. I will add it to my library. May give it a play, but I'm not that bothered.
I think this is more for like the nostalgia hit of people who've played the Oddworld games before, as opposed to like I was watching this thinking this doesn't really interest me at all. I can't see this being like winning loads of new Oddworld people in. I mean, being on Plus might actually, because I mean more people are going to play it than I would have paid for it. But I don't know. I wasn't excited about this.
That's fair.
Okay, and then we got, I think I want to call it Sifu or Sifu, Sifu.
The slow cap game.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Sifu.
game by Slowcap.
Yeah, Sifu.
They did Ashen, and you can obviously tell by the art style. You said the characters now have faces.
It wasn't Ashen, was it? It was Absolver.
I thought they did Ashen. No, Absolver was done by.
Ashen's the Souls-like one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one they did. Because
I hope it's the other one. I
team.
hope it's the Absolver team.
No,
I think it's
Absolver.
So
But
Google,
anyway, I thought it was Ash that he did Ashen because of the art style, just with the face. It looks quite good. It's supposed to be coming in 2021. It's one I would most probably play depending on the price of it.
Craig is correct.
It looked like it had a weird mechanic as well, where I don't know if I was reading too much into this, but it looked like when you died or failed or whatever, your character aged.
Yeah.
There was a period where it was showing gameplay. The gameplay looked really good. And then it looked like they died, and then they spawned back with a beard, and then at the end it showed the character looked like 40 years older. So that could be quite a cool mechanic. But it looked good. It looked like, because I think Azulba is a multiplayer kind of fighting game, whereas this maybe looked like it's going to be more of like a brawler, like Streets of Rage, but 3D, like Yakuza sort of thing, didn't it? But we'll see.
Yeah, and the Azulba games, the thing it was known for is its combat, so it looks like it has pretty much the same system, but in a more interesting setting. So if it's well priced and it's realistically not going to come to Xbox for a few years, because I think Absolver took 2 years to come to Xbox, I will probably pick it up.
It was a really good trailer. I thought
it was really well done.
Even if the game's not good, it's one of those where you look at that trailer and you're like, oh, they've marketed that really well.
And then we got a date for Kenna, and was dated for the 25th of August.
Disappointingly late. Disappointingly late. I was hoping that was going to be soon. It's also £40 as the pre-order page has gone up. I think it's probably fair. I hope it comes to.
Yeah, it's $39.99 for the deluxe version, isn't it? With soundtrack, and $32 for the regular.
Okay, so I only briefly saw it on the store. I hope that is it physical. Do you know?
They are planning physical after they launch the game. So a bit like Pathless, it came digital first, and then like a month later physical. Yeah. So I guess similar.
Looks really good. It looks really good, but I think I want to see a review just to see if the content is there, because obviously the animation and the art style might hide something. But from that trailer, it looks like a really good game. Look, I'd be pretty excited to pick that up if I had the time and the money at the time.
Yeah, I'd be excited for that. It's one I'm excited for.
I thought this was probably the best part of their little show. To be honest with you, I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this is a timed exclusive. I think they've said that. So if this does make its way to the land of the Xbox, I'd be looking forward to playing that, I think.
I don't know how long the time deal. They're normally about a year, but there's a few that's different, like
I mean,
Deathloop
just
6 months, and Project Athena is like 2 years, so it could be anything, but let's say 12 months, so to be safe. But they finished with Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Are you excited to play Final Fantasy VII again, Dave?
So I'm excited to play the Yuffie content.
Yes,
because
it has a new chapter,
new
which,
episodes.
if you go on the German website, it says it's 2 chapters long, which makes it about 4 hours.
Yeah, and
content.
it's paid. I'm going to guess that it's about £20 for that DLC.
Yeah, that also, if you go onto Japanese website, it's 2,200 yen, which is $20. So it makes it 20.
So it looks good, and I'm looking forward to playing Final Fantasy again. My problem with this is the problem that Craig will have with it if you read the small print. So, right, Craig. So what they've done is now Final Fantasy VII Remake's coming to Plus this month or in March. Right. So that's cool.
Right.
And in that direct, they go right, free upgrade, and you've got to pay for the DLC. That's fine, right? You're saving some money. If you have the game on PS Plus, you are not eligible for the free upgrade. So
right. Okay. So you get it as part of your Plus subscription. I could play it.
You can play the
I
PS4
can't
version.
have a free upgrade, so I'd have to pay, I'm guessing, a set fee for.
You have to buy the game. And the DLC is only on PS5, I believe.
So I can't even chuck them a tenner and they upgrade it for me.
No.
Oh.
So the free upgrade is anyone that's bought Final Fantasy VII on PS4.
So I have it on disc anyway, so that's not an issue for me.
And I'm currently bidding on one on disc.
What? How? Just buy it in work. You got double discount. It's 25.
No, it's 50 quid in work. Why would I pay? I'm not paying 50
25
quid.
in Bedminster. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, because what happened is I went on Amazon afterwards because I was curious, and that game sold out on Amazon within about 5 minutes of this presentation. It was £22, which is funny to me. Obviously, I have it anyway. I bought it when it came out, so I'm probably not going to replay the game. I will import my save because that is an option, and I will play the Yuffie content as long as it's not too expensive. But it's so the date is for June, right, Chris? Beginning of June 10th.
It's June 10th,
which is
literally
the day before Ratchet and Clank, which is very strange to do. So yeah, I mean, again, the game looks great. The game is great. It's just your standard weird marketing that's just baffling.
I don't know if it's a PlayStation thing or Square being Square.
It could be both.
It's more
really.
Square.
It's so strange to me to make it a Plus game and then not have that for the free upgrade.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to know that as well. Like, I didn't know that when I first saw it. I only saw it from your tweet.
No, I didn't know either. It's I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to rebuy the game. And then like someone showed me on like Discord the small print, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to rebuy the game.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to put the disc in. I was like, oh, brilliant. I can just download it and do the thing, and I'm done. I haven't got to put the disc in. I haven't got to get up from a chair. And I was like, oh, it's ruined it. The extra 10 steps I'm going to have to take break.
Yeah. Do you say the DLC is on PS4 as well?
From what I can see, it's only on
PS5. Yeah, DLC is PS5 exclusive.
That makes no sense. Like, they've made the game for PS4, so
which means the sequel is only going to be on PS5, isn't it?
I would presume so, especially you can transfer your save from PS4 to PS5.
Yeah,
and the save system is weird for that as well. Because you have to update the PS4 version.
So that could be 2025, who knows?
Yeah. But
so,
yeah, that was State of Play.
There is a physical PS5 version of it coming, which will have the DLC on
How much is that, Chris? Because I believe it is already on.
That is $59.99 for the PS normal version.
Does not include the DLC.
Christ.
No, it does.
Sure.
Yeah, the PS5 version does. And the PS4 version, you have to pay.
I'm going to load up my PS5 and have a look on the store a sec.
There's a digital deluxe version for 85 quid as well.
I mean, the actual upgrades they shown did look good though, didn't they?
It's a good looking game anyway. To have it run properly, there you go. The glasses have come on. Shit's getting real.
With the dual screening that they did. Well, full.
Although for me it looked like the same because I had Twitch artifacting on my normal 1080p screen, so I was just like,
yeah,
they're just playing the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered I did play something else this week. This is completely off rails. I played like 3 missions of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered because I just wanted to play again.
Okay.
Oh, I played that. That was
It's
that
on.
was
It
good
was
to be.
it was a Plus game. So
Oh, nice.
Final Fantasy. Here we go. So Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade. Okay, it does come with a DLC, but it is $69.99.
It's actually
Crikey.
$69.99.
$69.99.
I saw the physical version of somewhere for like $59.99, and then it was like all the content's on disc, and it was like, yay for preservation. You know, everything's going to be there, but
Yeah, it's
like I said,
$69.99 basically. So
I'm just trying to find a cheap PS4 copy and then just pay the 20 quid for the new episode.
Yeah, no, that's
So
the way to go.
when this eventually makes its way to Xbox, do we think it's going to be $69.99? Because
Yes, and
I
I
don't.
think you might not get the Yuffie DLC at launch. I think you might get Final Fantasy Remake. Probably
Because obviously the DLC is PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I don't think you'll get Integrate, technically speaking. I think you'll get Final Fantasy Remake, the PS5 non-integrated version that you can get, but you can't buy on its own. So and it'll probably be June that happens, but very strange, Square Enix as per usual.
Yes, also it wasn't in the state of play, but Square Enix afterwards showed 2 other Final Fantasy VII games.
Yeah,
and
they
they
bring
showed
back
Battle
Ever
Royale.
Crisis.
But they showed a Battle Royale Final Fantasy for mobile coming this year. So get excited for Battle Royale Final Fantasy. It is canon. It's set 30 years before Final Fantasy VII. And you also got Ever Crisis, which looks like Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition and looks really good.
It'll probably come to Switch.
Yeah, well, Pocket Edition came to everything in the end, so I'm hoping it does after all the chapters out, because it's got Crisis Core, it's got Dirge of Cerberus, it's got Before Crisis in it. That looked, that looked really good. I was like, why is this not on console? I want to play this. I want to play this on a silly mobile.
Well, there you go.
And so that was the state of play. So 10 games we showed.
So overall, I'm distracted now. Overall, Craig, what do you think? As the non-PlayStation MIS.
So I thought what they showed was good and looked good, but nothing got me excited. Nothing. It wasn't like Nintendo when they showed Mario Golf. I was like, oh, actually, this looks great.
Join
This
us,
is fun.
Craigo. Join us.
I watched this and I was like, oh, that was sufficient, but didn't blow me away in any
the cup
way,
of tea. Yeah, it's quite.
shape, or form.
So, Pengy, as someone who doesn't actually, do you know what? I'm going to go first because I've got a question to ask you afterwards. So, as someone, the complete opposite, I own a PS5, and I thought it was okay. I'm excited to replay Final Fantasy with Yuffie. I'm very excited for Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's probably about it. So it's okay. It's like I said, there wasn't the Mario Golf game like equivalent. You know what I mean? And obviously this week we didn't talk about, but obviously there's the plan to scale back Japan Studio. So it's like I might not even get.
Japan Studios now. They've changed it to Team Asobi is now what Japan Studios now.
So it's now going to be making Astrobot VR games for PS5 VR. So I'm like, I might not even get everybody's golf, but yeah, it was an okay presentation. So Chris, for you, what do you think, and how much closer are you to buying a PlayStation 5 if you could?
Right, it was an okay presentation. A bit like the Nintendo Direct last week. Like you were really positive in it, Craig, but you looked on like Twitter and everything, and everyone was like just shocked. Same sort of thing with this. Yet the presser they put out beforehand was they were going to show 10 games, third parties and indies, and that's what we got. Sort of thing. So I wasn't I was expecting Horizon to be here, possibly with a date. But apart from that, I wasn't really expecting like a Silent Hill or anything like that to be shown.
I've seen people say this, that like after it's in that, this is what we were expected. But like beforehand, even in our group, there was, we're going to get maybe Silent Hill, Horizon, new Japanese exclusive.
Horizon was the one I really thought would be there. Sort of updated. We now got a Ratchet date. It's the next big one that be dated. It might get dated after Ratchet or something. That's the only real disappointing.
We
Was
didn't
that
get any of that, did we? So
No.
I
No,
don't know. I
that
think
was
saying that this is what we expected. I don't know. I don't know if that's.
I do think
I
it's
don't
a
know
double standard
if
because Nintendo also said exactly the same. Nintendo said this is 50 minutes long. We're going to show Smash. We're going to show some stuff for the first half of the year, and they showed more than that.
and
They actually showed
Splatoon.
they
Yeah,
actually showed
Yeah.
some extra stuff, and they got lambasted
Yeah.
for it. You know, again, the test is going to be in 2 weeks' time when Xbox does it and says literally everything they said they're going to show, and then they'll get kicked in the ass for showing it. So that's, you know, it's one of those things. I don't genuinely think that the industry does it on purpose, but there is a PlayStation bias. They don't do it on purpose. I don't think Greg Miller sat there going, yeah, fuck the Xbox. I just think they are so invested in the PlayStation thing. It's just a natural bias, and that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, like I said, they said what they were going to show. They showed it. It can still be a bad presentation, even if the
If we were
expectations are
scoring
low.
out of 10, because I think we did that
Yeah,
last week.
we'll do the out of 10. We'll do the out of 10. So I'll start off. I think I'd give it probably a 6, to be honest. I think it was good, but it was, like I said, there was nothing there that I was like, cool. I was more disappointed that Kino has been so delayed because it was originally coming in March. And the Final Fantasy stuff initially I thought was good, and as soon as I read into it, I was a bit disappointed, really, to be honest. So, how about you, Craigo?
I'd say, because I think I gave the Nintendo one 8 last week, and it's definitely wasn't as good as Nintendo. So I think either 6 or a 7 personally. Like I said, it was like everything they showed was good, but it was just wasn't exciting for me in any way.
Thank you.
I'm thinking like 6.5. So there's 10 games shown, like 6 of them I will play, sort of thing. But only really just real standout is Kenna. Final Fantasy is DLC. It is something I want to play. Like I said, trying to get a cheap copy on PS4 already. It's something I do want to play, but it is just a 4-hour possibly DLC that's coming. And Returnal looks very good, but it's just too expensive. So yeah, like I said, this and Soul Ash is sort of my sort of game. So that there is like 6 in there, but there's all like asterisks next to it. Like this one's too expensive. This is just DLC, with only like Kenna being like the only one that hasn't got an asterisk next to it. It's like price is okay, looks good. It's going to be, I expect, 6-8 hour like action adventure sort of game. Yeah, that's fine. But all the rest, little bit of a asterisk next to them.
Nice. Well, we had one more surprise, Chris, because there was a small presentation the day after, which is of course the Pokemon 25th anniversary direct. So you've got that one written down. So let's go through that.
Yes, there's 3 things there. We had Pokemon Snap gameplay, and that looks really good.
It looks like Pokemon Snap.
Yep. The worry I got with this one, it's still going to be short.
Oh yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
like the N64.
I saw people reacting to this, and they were getting very excited over, the fact they were taking pictures of Pokemon. And I was sat there thinking, what? I don't get it. I don't get any of this.
Pure nostalgic thing.
Yeah,
The N64 game was
it.
so loved because it was when we were all kids, we played it, and it was really cool to take photos of Pokemon and throw a ball at them, and they did different stuff. And I can see that.
Did I remember correctly? You could print off pictures on the Game Boy Color.
So you could take it to like Blockbuster or like I think maybe McDonald's maybe here did it, and you could take your cartridge in and you could get stuff printed off. It's a really cool thing. I think the fact that it's basically got its own Twitter to like for you to like upvote on pictures, and it's basically a photo mode, a Pokemon photo mode. I think it's actually really cool. It's too expensive.
I'll say, how much is it?
It's £50.
50 quid.
If it was £30,
Crikey.
I think that's fair. I think that's okay. £50 is too much. I mean, I'm not buying. I think my partner might buy it, but it's for me. It's for what it is. It's too much. And as we know, it will not ever drop in price. So
that's the thing. I will get it eventually day one because it will never drop in price.
It never will.
So I might as well just get it right away because there's no point in waiting 6 months for it to be cheaper because it won't be cheaper.
No,
so like going back to Returnal, couple of months that will be cheaper.
It'll be on Plus,
this
Chris.
won't. So
it will be on Plus.
Yeah. So, and then we got Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are remakes of Diamond and Pearl from the DS.
What's depressing about this is Diamond and Pearl were the Pokemon games when I went to uni. So when I went to uni, they were the newest Pokemon games, and I am old as shit. I'm actually really excited for these. Like surprisingly, because they've the art style is like a chibi, like kind of faithful to the original game art style, and it just looks like a Pokemon game. There's no weird gimmick. There's no like weird online mode that doesn't really work like in Sword and Shield. There's no this that. It just looks like a bog standard remake of a Pokemon game. And you know what? I'll play that. I'll beat it 25 hours. I'll love it. So yeah, I'd say I'm surprisingly quite excited for Dominic, but I have a lot of nostalgia for the game as well, which always helps with Pokemon games, which I didn't have for Ruby and Sapphire. But yeah,
I drafted it. I paid a whopping $65.
I could not believe that it was eligible, so I didn't even look because I presumed it was just going to be classed as a remaster, and so I did not look.
Nope.
I know you've got it, Chris. I know you've got it, and I was just like, guaranteed.
I was shocked to see how much because I bid quite a lot. I think I bid very which I thought might be enough to get it because I thought we'd all bid on it. But yes, 65 is
the last remakes didn't review that well because of IGN. If you remember the famous 7.8 Too Much Water. So the reviews will either go one or two ways. IGN will probably have to give it a 9 so they don't get any more backlash, and then the rest of them could well give it low because I like Diamond and Pearl. It's not as well loved as Ruby and Sapphire, but we'll see. Obviously,
I've never played Diamond and Pearl, so to me it's a brand new game.
They're really good. Like for someone who likes Pokemon, you'll enjoy them because it's probably the last pure Pokemon game. I think after then you had Black and White next, which was very they changed quite a lot of stuff up, and then as soon as you start getting to Sun and Moon, where it's just a kids game, like it's Sun and Moon. Diamond and Pearl has a lot of post game content. It's probably the game with the most post game content. I think it's like 7 or 8 legendaries. There's a battle tower. It has one of the hardest fights in Pokemon, in all of Pokemon against Cynthia later on, which is pretty rad. So so for Craig. Because I want to ask this now, and I want to ask this after the last game. Because you're not a Pokemon guy, and if you've ever been a Pokemon guy since the originals, does this do anything at all for you?
Not massively, if I'm honest with you. I mean, it looked good if you're into Pokemon. It looked like a HD remaster. Kind of looked like is it? Link's Awakening, the Zelda game.
It looks a lot like Link's Awakening.
It looked like Pokemon Link's Awakening, obviously, but with those mechanics and not Zelda. But yeah, no, it's not something that I was particularly fussed about.
And then we got one more announcement, and that's Pokemon Legends coming in early 2022, which looks amazing.
Pokemon Breath of the Wild. They even used the same shot as the Breath of the Wild trailer, where it comes up behind the character on the mountain. Was not expecting this. I'll be honest.
It's got to be in that engine or Xenoblades or something.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if Monolith Soft aren't helping. Obviously, the very early footage they showed ran at like 12 frames a second. So that's not too impressive. But the fact that is the most different I've ever seen a Pokemon game. To have a dodge roll and be fucking stealthing around grass with like Pokemon in the overworld and have it go into a feudal setting, which I don't think they've ever done in the games. I think they might have done.
You're making the first Pokedex or something like that.
Yeah, it seems to be.
And you're setting up like the world, and like your starters are 3 different generations and not all from the same.
It's
and they all
very
have like
interesting.
sort of Japanese sort of fit thing. I'm going Cyndaquil, so that's my starter.
They specifically called it an action RPG.
Yeah.
Or an adventure RPG, which they've never referred to the Pokemon games. They always refer to Pokemon games as JRPGs. Always. So it's referred to as like a.
Well, it looks like it's got real-time combat as well.
It looks like it's got both. It looks like it's got real-time and turn-based, because obviously they showed a bit more at the end, and it has like a traditional menu and stuff. Really fascinated. Really genuinely, like, as someone who's been playing those games since they came out, and they've been pretty much the same all the way through, to have it take such a drastic change, and it to be one game as well. It's not like 2 games like they always do. You can see it as an experiment from them. I think that's why you had the very safe Diamond and Pearl remakes coming out a couple of months beforehand. I was very impressed. So Craig, you again, like I said, you're not a Pokemon guy at all. Did this do anything for you?
I thought it looked really good. To be fair, I thought it looked the most ambitious change.
It's definitely the word. Definitely the word.
Long time. Pokemon always just seems like one of those safest kind of. I don't want to say rinse and repeat, but to some extent.
It's Japanese Call of Duty. It just makes money. You haven't got to change it.
Definitely like that. And I was in work when I think the Nintendo Direct must have been going on,
Mm.
and I was at the time surrounded by people who love Pokemon, and this dropped, and they were all watching it, and like the excitement they all had for this was like hilarious to watch. So you can see that this is going to be massive when this comes out, if it is everything that they're promising. And I mean, Nintendo do tend to live up to their expectations, don't they? So
yeah, this is a day one. It's very rarely do I look at a video game this early and go day one. Like I'd pre-order it now if it was up. Like that is a game I will pre-order and I will play it day one. Obviously,
like you said, it did look like it ran a bit thing, and obviously we keep getting rumors for a Switch Pro. Like this is a game that looks like a Switch Pro makes sense.
Yeah, so this is going to be the thing now until the end of the year. I mean, to be fair, they are due like a different type of Switch. Like it's been 5 years. By that point, by the time that game comes out, it'll be 5 years since the first Switch. Nintendo always iterates. The reason they're not now is because one, they can't get the parts, and two, they don't need to, because
it sells
the
so well,
Switch
doesn't
never
it?
stops selling. So I think you will see a Switch upgrade next year, but I don't think it's going to be this massive 4K thing. I think it's just going to have a bit more. It's going to be the new 3DS. It's going to have a bit more RAM and it's going to be a bit smoother. I think it genuinely is. You think so now? The 2022 end of 21/2022, you're looking at Breath of the Wild 2, Pokemon Legends, and Splatoon 3, and that's big,
There's
man.
a
Like,
triangle.
you've still got Metro Prime 4, which has been announced, hasn't got a date. Bayonetta 3, which has been announced, hasn't got a date. You got all these types of games, and I'm thinking, if I was Craig, and there was nothing coming out for Xbox for 6 months that I want, suddenly the Switch is easily the console you go for if you haven't got one of them. If you haven't bought a console yet, Switch, and you're not fussed on Game Pass, the Switch for exclusives is now ridiculous. It's a ridiculous console. You know what I mean? Every year,
They're so
just
consistent, aren't they? With
they are.
seemingly what they bring out every year being good and well received.
It's
I
like,
think, I mean, as you joked last week about, Chris's, this is the year of the Switch, and actually, it could well be next year's the year of the Switch.
every year is,
I mean,
mate. Every year
yeah,
is.
it really does seem to be.
It's one of those things like if I were to plonk a Switch in your hand now, I could plonk 10 games, and even you haven't played you haven't been a Nintendo guy since the N64. You know that they're going to be good games.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if I
definitely.
said, right, here's one of the 5 Mario games, here's one of the 3 Zelda games, here's one of the 6 Pokemon games, you'd be like, all right, I'm going to enjoy this. It's not a surprise. It's not like every time we talk about Halo Infinite, we're like, can it please not be bad? Whereas if
Yeah,
I said to you, yeah, Craig, I'm going to give you Breath of the Wild 2 tomorrow, you'd be like, oh, wicked, this is going to be fun. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, great shit. I just want Craig to buy a Switch. I just want it to happen. I might buy him myself if I had the money.
I just come home one day and a Switch is on my doorstep.
I just want you. I want you to literally one day walk into Asda, walk into shop that we work in, and they're there for like 225 before discount, and then after discount it's like 175 the game, and you just go for Dave and then buy it, come home, play Mario Kart with me for 6 hours. Anyway, so that disappointment aside, how did we feel about that presentation, Pengy?
That was the best one out of the 3 we've had. Or even if you like, I watched a bit of BlizzCon. If you want to count that as well, yeah, it was miles the best out of all of them showed, and it the one that showed the least. Like we had no Pokemon Go update. I'm not fussed about Pokemon Go, but surprised not anything there because that's 5th anniversary and obviously Pokemon's 25th. There was no Pokemon Unite stuff shown. And they showed a bit of Pokemon Cafe, but because there's more content they could have shown. But yeah, what was good there was great. Like if I had to score this, I'd be like easily an 8.
Okay, Craigo, what do you think?
I mean, I won't bother scoring this because obviously I know absolutely nothing about Pokemon, and it would be pointless. I could just pick a number. I mean, it wasn't obviously for me. I'd only watched the couple of trailers that we talked about. I didn't watch the whole thing. But I think the interesting thing was, like I was saying, working with people who love Pokemon at the time, like the excitement for the remake and the Legends game next year was like huge and genuine. So I mean, it's cool to see. I mean, it's always cool to see people get excited about like games that they love in it. So, I mean, it was obviously very good for if you're into Pokemon and that's your sort of thing. But yeah, like I said, I won't even bother trying to score this because I know absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a solid 8 or 9 for me. Like, you're right. It's when you're a Nintendo fan, I think you always have high expectations because they always deliver. So to go into something, we've all been to these, we've all watched these anniversary things that Nintendo do, and they go one of two ways. They're either lazy but still really good, like Mario 3D All Stars, for example, or they're just crazy and you don't expect them. And this was one of the crazy, don't expect them little shows. I would have been happy with the Diamond and Pearl remakes because I've wanted those games, the games that I loved from back in the day. But to get that and then potentially within 6 months get a crazy new ambitious Pokemon game that they've never ever attempted to do before is top banana, boys. I tell you, it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be another one of those things where I've got a PS5 and a new Xbox, and I'm going to play the Switch because it's got this crazy game that you can't play anywhere else. So it's
I
very
love the
exciting.
fact they announced this massive new ambitious Pokemon thing that everyone's going to love. And instead of like announcing it now, and we all know we're going to get it in like 2023 or 2024, it's like, 8 months down the line, you're probably going to be playing this. Like, I think that's so cool announcing stuff.
Nintendo generally do that. Very occasionally they'll do the Metro Prime and they'll show a logo. But I mean, like, for example, Mario 3D All Stars was announced a month before it came out. Paper Mario Origami King was announced, what, a month and a half before it came out.
Yeah, it's about that.
Xenoblade Chronicles was maybe 6 months then it came out. Even Breath of the Wild, when it was, so they announced it early, but like when they were like, oh, this is going to be Breath of the Wild, they showed it 2 months before the Switch came out. The Switch was announced 3 months before it came out. You know what I mean? So it's
such a more exciting way of doing things, in my
they've got
opinion.
so much content. It's one of
Yeah.
those weird things because obviously Nintendo goes under the radar because they don't buy studios very often. They buy Grezzo, they buy Camelot, one of the other.
They bought someone
They bought the
recently.
they bought the Luigi's Mansion team, didn't they?
Yeah, that's who they bought. Yeah.
Yeah, so that they have their own internal team, so you don't really ever hear about their development studios. But because they've combined their 3D, their handheld, and their console divisions, they now have like 20 amazing teams that just quietly go about doing their business. That mostly Japan based as well, so you don't really hear too much out of them. And it's
Yeah, because only really retro.
And you don't hear anything from Retro. They never ever say anything until they're ready. So it's like fair play to them. Like really, it really is. Like you think of this year, like we said, we joke about it in the year of the Switch, but you're already looking at the games that they're producing. You think if all the PlayStation games hit this year, they might be able to rival it, but I can't see it happening. Like I can't see God of War coming out this year.
It looks like from Corey Barlog's tweets, God of War's not coming this year.
No, I think you might get Horizon. Gran Turismo's been delayed, obviously, already.
Gran Turismo's been delayed to 2022.
So I think you get Ratchet
is it
in
even
June.
a Gran Turismo game if it's not delayed?
Yeah, so you're going to get Ratchet in June, and then you're going to get probably Horizon in like November.
October or November.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. So that's going to be anything Switch. We've already had a Mario game that was way better than people thought it was going to be. I don't know why, because it was a like 9 out of 10 rated game before, and they're like, oh, Craig, Mario's really good. Shit, Mario's good. You know what I mean? And you've just had Bravely Default. You've just had Persona 5 Strikers. You're gonna get a Pokemon game this year. You're gonna get this, that, and everything.
2 Pokemon games.
You're going to get Mario Golf, which is going to be my game of the year. I can't wait. And we're live streaming that, Craig. Right? You're going to buy a Switch just so we can live stream. Hopefully, you'll be allowed to come up and we can play it. That'd be great. But yeah, it's an exciting time. I mean, so the big question now, boys, when's the Xbox event?
Mid-March, most probably.
It's been rumored there's going to be a Bethesda Xbox event this month.
There's different rumors. There's rumors that they're going to do a Bethesda only one, or will it be? I guess it's Vault only now because all their things are becoming Vault. So there's rumors that's going to happen as soon as the deal goes through. But then there was a rumor again that there's going to be two sort of like things: a future of gaming and a future of Windows. But then there was like they're like investor things. So the future, and obviously the future Windows. So, but it could still be a public thing, like the future of Windows. They're showing HoloLens or something, or Windows 11 or something like that. But it sounds like something's coming. It's just what's coming. is the question. Because really, it's Xbox. I know we had that list that they put on their website of like the 30 odd games coming that are like time exclusive, a bunch on Game Pass. But only Halo was the big one. It was a bit like the State of Play, where like the big one I guess was Returnal, but I don't know how big that is. Sort of is like what is the big Xbox game? So event would be good for them to have soon, so they can go, this is the big games coming to Xbox. So we know PlayStation, we know Nintendo.
So I think going back to the list that they published, I think even if they didn't necessarily pull the trigger and start talking about all the Bethesda stuff and all the stuff they know they have coming up, I think on that list, I think it's 31 games or 30 games. The only one that's come out is the medium so far.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, I might be wrong. There might be a couple.
They had the Accuser on the list, and I guess that has come out, hasn't it? So
yeah, but nothing is dated on that list. Basically,
no.
absolutely nothing, as far as I can tell. I mean,
Where
we're
is
2
my
months
Psychonauts?
down. I mean, I can't see if nothing's dated for March now. I can't see anything coming in March. That's 3 months down. But what you'll be saying that they're going to be these games are coming out 3 or 4 a month? Like, I don't know. I think if nothing else, they definitely need to do an event where they're like, here's all these awesome games that we gave you in this list. This is when, 10 of them, or let's say more than that, are actually coming out and you can play them. I think so. I thought so. My kind of hopes were that the PlayStation one was amazing, that their state of play was incredible, and then that would kind of force Xbox's hand. But I don't know, because PlayStation's was kind of a bit meh, and everyone seemed to think it was a bit meh. I don't know what Microsoft. I thought they'd have to respond, but I don't know. They could easily just not respond to that in some ways, I feel.
I think we'll get an Inside Xbox this month, and by this month I mean March. I think we will get
Yeah,
one.
I think
And
they'd do something,
yeah.
but I don't know if it would be as big as
No.
You're saying about Bethesda. I don't think it would be like. I think they'll wait until E3 for all the big
E3.
toys and whistles. Yeah.
Well, they also have QuakeCon if they do that digitally as well, because obviously
Mm.
they have their own conferences and stuff still. I imagine they'll still do
Yeah.
that. I just think the Xbox needs to come out and say something soon, whether it's in a video or a blog post or a podcast. They need to come out and be like, look, these games are coming at these dates, because it is kind of getting to that point now. If I was Craig and I was just an Xbox owner, because a lot of the third party games have been delayed, so you're kind of looking at, right, what am I buying? Like, sure, there's Game Pass and we'll keep getting good stuff on Game Pass, but there's, for a new owner, I don't know how you're getting more people to buy Xboxes if there was an Xbox available. That's the big asterisk, isn't it? But
Yeah, that's the thing.
Medium reviewed well, but there is
we're
nothing
saying
announced with a date until Halo, and Halo's date is a window. Like, it could be 2022. Halo. It could very well be 2022. It's Holiday 21. Holiday 21 runs into 2022. So it's like, all I want the stuff we know about. I want Psychonauts 2. Just, where's that game? They've shown me so much of that game. Tell me when it's coming out. Is it coming out in, I hope it doesn't come out in June, because I think Ratchet and Clank will eat its lunch in terms of marketing. So either put it out in April and May, or put it out in July, August, But stuff like that, we should be hearing some dates now. You know what I mean? And I know that when the Bethesda thing ticks over, that might be the reason for them to go, because it won't be that they'll be announcing new games. I think it will be part of the inside Xbox of, right, so Dishonored Definitive Edition's coming to Game Pass, all of Wolfenstein's coming back to Game Pass, bloody blah, all these games that they've got in their back catalogue that I can't think, like both of the Evil Within games are coming to Game Pass, all this kind of stuff. I think that's maybe why they're waiting. I don't want to. I'm not. I know we're miles away from Fable. I know we're miles away from Forza Horizon 5. Even though I kind of hope it comes this year. I think they just need to show that they've got some stuff coming. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
it doesn't hurt.
They've showed that though, haven't they? It's just
it was 6 months ago.
What's coming this year, and
that's been the problem with Xbox for quite a while. It's like there hasn't been anything for a while, and they keep showing these games and buying these studios and talking about stuff, but there's no stuff.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding, as they would say. And there's like we haven't had the games yet. I know games take a long time to make, but you could have deals done and sort of thing. Because you look at like the state of play again, most of them are timed exclusives. Like Xbox, why if you pick up. I'm trying to think of something now.
But they
that's
have, haven't
out.
they? They've got like
Yeah,
the Warhammer. They've got the
yeah,
Annapurna game.
Oh, yeah.
They've done those
Give me a
deals.
date. Give me Dark
yeah,
Haven't given us dates or any updates on any of it. I mean,
Yeah, that's the
I
problem.
guess maybe the dream is that they do the event and they just hit us with date after date after
Yeah.
date on this list. That is, I guess, the dream. But we'll have to see what actually happens with that.
Yeah, and I get it's difficult because of COVID. And I understand that a lot of their studios are Western, which have more issues than the Japanese studios because Japan is, as a nation, has handled COVID better. So it's like I can understand why, but it is one of those things. It just takes a blog post or a little video. Just hey, there's a couple of games that are coming out in this couple of months, or even right, we know what's coming to Game Pass for the next 3 months. So here is what's coming to Game Pass for the next 3 months. This is what you're playing on Xbox for the next couple of months. Oh hey, we're going to do a really big sale. So here it's coming next month. This is what's going to be in the sale. Or we've got the marketing rights to Far Cry. Here's some trailers, like they did with Assassin's Creed, where you saw an Assassin's Creed advert with Xbox at the end of it, non-stop in the run up to the consoles. Same as Cyberpunk. Just these kind of things, so that it's not even for us because we play on Xbox all the time. It's more for like the general media. No one is talking about Xbox other than Bethesda. Like no one is. There's never a video that's about the Xbox in general, apart from Nvidia. Nvidia, what am I about? And the Bethesda's thing. Oh, they did this cool XP boost thing that like Digital Foundry covered. You're like, cool, wicked. Like Johnny Blogs,
yeah.
who's just playing Football Manager and FIFA, hasn't got a clue. Like I
Mm.
have to tell all my friends when stuff comes to Game Pass. It's annoying as fuck. I'm like, yeah, Dirt 5 just came to Game Pass. Like what? Dirt 5? I'm like, yeah, it's been on Game Pass all week. Like I'll download it now. It's like, why can't they just have these adverts like all the
Yeah,
time? I don't
yeah.
get it.
Like that's some sort of thing. Like we don't know what's coming to Game Pass in March, and obviously, it's March to tomorrow. But if this mostly goes up fast, like what's coming to Game Pass in
We
March,
know that
apart
Star
from
Wars
Yakuza
Squadrons is.
6,
We know
yeah,
that
and
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
Squadrons
Squadrons 6,
and
Yakuza
Madden and
6,
thing is, I think.
yeah, I guess that's a lot. It's just like,
But we know that via a tweet from EA. That's how I know that.
Yeah, but it's like
the general
something
person
like
isn't on
12.
Twitter.
I know it's different, but if you look at like PlayStation Plus for March, obviously we said about Final Fantasy remake. Like you got a brand new game launching. Macat, one of the games I've drafted, and then like April you got Oddworld. It's like, where's 12? 12 minutes was supposed to come in December. Obviously it got delayed. That'd be a great Game Pass game in March.
It's just a marketing thing. So I follow on my YouTube account. I follow official Xbox. I follow official PlayStation. And official PlayStation has a video every month. Here's Plus, and Xbox doesn't have those videos for Game Pass. It's something as silly as that. Like, if you're at home at the minute, you're on YouTube or you're on Netflix. Like, if a video pops up on my YouTube that's like from the Xbox channel, that's like, here's the Game Pass games for the month. I'd watch it. Those videos, you've seen the videos that PlayStation put. They always get silly views. It's just a bit of information. I'm not expecting them to go, here's Forza Horizon 5, it's coming out tomorrow. Like, it's just like, right, so this month, this is what you're playing. They could even have it on the dashboard, because they have these little adverts occasionally. They could have it come up on the dashboard. Like, the 360 used to have, where you'd click on a video and it'd be the bold Scottish guy, the AC Bongos, just going, oh, like, this week, this is what's coming to Xbox. Like, you have This Week in Xbox on Major Nelson's thing, right, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a nitpick. Maybe it is just a nitpick, but it is one of those things like, I just want to know what's coming so I can be excited.
Yeah.
And just give me fucking Psychonauts 2. For the love of God, I just want
to
play
well,
Psychonauts
that for
2.
instance, like in April you're getting Psychonauts 2. Like that's your new game plan.
I'd be like, fuck my PlayStation. I'm going crazy on my Xbox this month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you realise it's coming to PS4 and you want that platinum trophy.
No, I'll get it for free. I'm not that fickle, Chris. I'm really not that fickle. I'll if there's an option for a platinum and I haven't got to pay any extra for it, of course. But Game Pass will always be Game Pass. But anyway, there's our heated Xbox discussion, and I say this in an Xbox hoodie. Okay, I'm not Chris. I don't hate everything.
No.
So, is there any closing thoughts on this week's general gaming shenanigans, boys? Is there anything you're looking forward to playing this week? Obviously, Craig's got 3 hours to play Oxenfree, and then he's got to try something else.
No, actually, I've got definitely finished Oxen 3 tonight before it leaves Game Pass. And then I'm not quite sure what I'll play next. I've got a week off coming up fairly soon. So I kind of don't want to start anything big. So I'm like, I'll start something big on that and just smash through it because
Is
we're
it
still
time for Yakuza?
possibly. We'll see. We'll get a bit crazy. We'll download some stuff and we'll see where it takes me. But yeah, so I really want to give Wreckfest a go so I can give some thoughts on that. And then it would definitely be some more Game Passy sort of stuff for me this week.
You are Mr. Game Pass. We really need to get you some sort of Game Pass like light up plaque that goes behind you because I'd love to count how many weeks in a row it's been a Game Pass game for you.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I don't know if I bought Immortals this year or the end of last year, but that's the only game I've bought like recently. I've got some DLC.
So have you only bought Ubisoft games for your Series X?
What, physically?
Yeah.
No, because I bought Dirt 5.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't realize you bought it. Yeah, completely forgot that you had Dirt 5.
You are onto something. I did say in the resolution episode, when Craig buys a game, it'll be a Ubisoft game.
It's Mr. Ubisoft. He loves the French, man. He loves them.
He's just waiting for Rainbow Six Parasite to get announced.
His next game will be Far Cry 6. That's the next physical game.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's a predictable Game Pass answer, but I always look forward to hearing you play random shit, Craig. So, Pengy, you're obviously going to finish Bravely Default this week, right? That's the plan.
No, my plan is to finish Little Nightmares 2. So that will be finished. I've got about an hour to go, I reckon. Maybe an hour and a half. So I'm going to finish that. Then it will be onto the Switch, and it will be Persona 5 Strikers, pretty much what I'll be playing. And that will be it, unless something comes to Game Pass. I'm like, I want to play that. And,
All I can guarantee is that I will play Football Manager this week. Anything else, the bets are off. So I will let you know next week. It will be a surprise for everyone. I kind of do want to play Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
Well, the thing for me is it's my birthday next week. So like Craig, I have quite an extended time off, and I know I'm getting at least one video game for my birthday. So I kind of want to wait to play that, if I'm honest. So we'll see what happens. I don't think Devil May Cry is massively long to play in one playthrough. Obviously, I will play it
12 hours, but then you'd want to go play it as Virgil. So.
Yeah, I'll do more because I'm told Virgil is the most fun character from the reviews I've watched. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll probably try and play that. But I'm not going to try and platinum it because I've seen the trophies. I ain't that good at games.
It's also worth doing a second playthrough of that because you unlock something at the end of your first playthrough that you can then use for your whole playthrough on when you do like New Game Plus. Well, so when you beat it like normal, you can then start it on hard with this extra stuff, which is really cool.
I will definitely when I play, I will definitely have a discussion because you guys have both beaten, haven't you? So I will definitely have a Devil May Cry episode when I get to it. And I said it's exciting for me to have a physical new next gen game. It's the same, but it's got a white PlayStation thing at the top. Isn't that exciting? Where am I going to put it on the wall? Crazy.
Mine's before my PS4, so yeah, that's my free PS5, then my
just
PS4
gathering
games.
Dust, waiting for you to break.
Yeah. Now going to my Xbox games.
Nice. Well, guys, it's another week. A successful hour-and-a-half episode. Yeah. If you like the show, drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop us all messages on social media, especially Craig. If you can find Craig, drop a message because it's always funny. And we will see you next week. Bye now.
Bye.